Now at 4 this week, Attorney General Merrick Garland naming a special counsel to investigate after classified documents were found at President Joe Biden's home and office. Joining me now to discuss is Meet the Press moderator Chuck Todd. Okay, if it seems like the Twilight Zone, it's for good reason. But is this case similar to former President Trump's situation at all? Or what are the similarities and what are the differences?
I think the best way to describe it is they're similar in that they're like take two car accidents. On one hand, they're similar. They're both but maybe one car accident truly was an accident. Yes, it's the driver's fault, but maybe they didn't see someone coming. Accident B is someone who intentionally maybe drove into a group of people or drove in intentionally to traffic to cause an accident. On one hand, they're both car accidents. They both broke the law. They're both going to be held accountable to law. But one is a misdemeanor and one is a felony. That is how one official tried to describe this situation to me, and I thought, well, okay. And there's some similarities in that it's a law you broke the law, and there's some differences. But the question is, we just don't know everything about the Biden situation yet. We know there was intent with Trump. Trump himself has all but admitted it. What we don't know is what did he do with the documents, who had access to them, all that. Well, now those same questions with Biden, I think, are front and center. Who had access to those documents? What was in them? We don't have confirmation of what topics they were. We're going to probably learn more. There's been some reporting that it vaguely had to do with Ukraine, China, and perhaps Iran. Okay, what? And this is where, look, plenty of people can go down conspiracy theory land here, but that's the point. There are some things we don't know. So it may very well be one is a misdemeanor and one isn't. But the appearance is everything. And I think the fact that you have a special counsel already looking into Biden, I think it shows you that if I think this is a good day for Donald Trump when it comes to that specific investigation. He's still very vulnerable legally in the Georgia investigation. He's very vulnerable legally on January 6th. He's very vulnerable legally when it comes to his business. But on this classified document situation, I think it's probably much harder for Merrick Garland to pull the trigger and prosecute today than it was a week ago before this was known. And it's what we don't know in the Biden front that I think is the most legally dangerous to Biden, right? We don't know the content and, how, that we already know Republicans want to know Hunter Biden must have had access. It won't take much to get the Hunter Biden investigation lumped in with this. And that is something that if you're the Biden White House, you have to be petrified of at this point.
Chuck, you always bring such great insight. Thanks so much.